headlines. Canada strikes a deal to reduce Chinese tariffs on canola. A former Vibank school employee appeals their sexual exploitation conviction. And wicked weather hits southern Saskatchewan.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Relief for canola producers in Saskatchewan. Canada and China have reached a trade deal, with Beijing cutting on Canadian agriculture products like canola, the tariffs they had on them, in return for Canada slashing tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles. The deal was struck during a visit to China by the Prime Minister, with Saskatchewan's Premier in attendance. Wayne Mantika has more.
The relationship.
Prime Minister Mark Carney and Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe worked side by side in reaching the trade agreement with China. It will end a trade dispute that saw China impose a canola seed duty in retaliation for Canadian tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles.
It will focus on 5 key areas where both our nations stand to make substantial and sustained gains.
China will reduce its 84% duty on canola seed to 15% by March. In return, Canada will allow up to 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles to enter the country each year at a 6.4% tariff rather than the current 100%. Saskatchewan canola producers are relieved.
On any given year, our operation produces, call it 100,000 bushels of canola. Some years it's more, some years it's less. So anytime there's positive market reaction, it's obviously net good for us.
Premier Scott Moe called it a very good deal for Canada.
But all in all, it is going to be a net positive to the Canadian economy and going to provide us some opportunities to really engage on what our future looks like over the next 5, 10, and 15 years.
Ontario's Doug Ford says China now has a foothold in the Canadian auto market.
It's going to hurt every single auto manufacturer, every single supply chain that has anything to do with the auto sector. This was not thought out properly.
Canadian canola meal, peas, lobsters and crabs will no longer be subject to Chinese tariffs from March to at least the end of the year. But there was no mention of canola oil, which has been subject to a 100% tariff.
We ideally would like to see 0% tariffs, but seeing a significant reduction is very positive for our canola farmers.
The deal could mark a move away from Canada's long-standing alignment with the United States. The Prime Minister called Canada's current relationship with China more predictable. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
A former employee of Vibank Regional School convicted of sexual exploitation was in Regina court today to appeal her 2025 trial and sentencing. Mick Fable tells us more.
The Court of Appeal is now deliberating after hearing arguments in the hearing of a former Saskatchewan educational assistant convicted of sexual exploitation charges involving teen boys. A jury found Stacey Duke guilty of several charges, including exploitation, luring, and making sexually explicit material available to a child in March of last year. She was originally sentenced to 28 months in prison. The charges stem from when Duke was an educational assistant at Vibank Regional School in the fall of 2022. The victims were 17 at the time and cannot be named due to a publication ban. In her appeal, Duke's defense argues that the trial judge erred in giving instructions to the jury relating to positions of trust and authority, which may have altered the outcome. The Crown is also appealing the length of Duke's sentence and wants it increased to 6 months in prison. Duke's defense is seeking a new trial or a possible acquittal. Duke is currently out on bail awaiting the outcome of the appeal. Mick Fable, CTV News, Regina.
Regina's Urgent Care Center is cutting back its hours for the weekend. Urgent Care will be open from 8 to 4 on Saturday and 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday, returning to its normal hours of 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. on Monday. If the Urgent Care Center is not open, patients are directed to either of Regina's 2 hospital emergency rooms. Non-emergency cases can also call the health line, visit a walk-in clinic, or check in with a pharmacy for some minor health concerns. Saskatchewan has signed a 3-year deal with the United Arab Emirates to help the country develop a nuclear energy program. It mainly surrounds development of technologies related to small modular reactors, nuclear plant efficiency, and reliability. The province says with Saskatchewan's vast uranium deposits, it's in a good position to partner on nuclear innovation. Both parties do have the option to renew the deal once the 3-year term expires. Well, it was quite the commute this morning across southern Saskatchewan. Wind gusts closing in on close to 100 kilometers an hour, reducing visibility and causing slick roadways. Damien Smith has more.
It was not a welcome wake-up call for Regina residents. Snow blowing from the northwest with wind gusts at almost 100 kilometers per hour. Though wind speeds have decreased since Friday morning, the RCMP is reminding citizens to stay safe when traveling outside of the city.
It can be deceiving. It looks sunny out. You look outside and you can see some blue skies, but it's not necessarily the road conditions that are causing this. It is that visibility piece, blowing that fresh snow around at times. There's near zero visibility.
From 6 p.m. on Thursday to 10 a.m. Friday morning, the Saskatchewan RCMP received 44 reports of collisions and 28 traffic hazard reports around the Regina area. For residents in the Cathedral neighborhood, just stepping outside was difficult.
This as bad as it gets. It was really like it was full bore wind. There was no break. It wasn't a gust. It was like a cannon fire of freezing weather. It was unbelievable.
But compared to what it looked like on the outskirts, runners and shovelers in the neighborhood are grateful to live in the city center.
In here, we're nicely protected, and if I run along the riverbank, I'm kind of okay.
Well, it hasn't really been that terrible. We were out this morning in the vehicle. Roads are a little heavy, but not bad. A bit windy, but you dress for it.
It's Saskatchewan. It gets extremely windy. This is, remarkable weather. So I don't think this is not new to us, but it doesn't happen all the time.
Despite the harsh weather conditions, only a few centimeters of snow have touched the ground since the wind gusts increased on Thursday evening. Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
And of course, it happened all across Saskatchewan. A staple high atop a Prince Albert restaurant, you could say, kicked the bucket during the windstorm. The giant bucket at the KFC location on 2nd Avenue came apart with the outer shell detaching, much like their chicken. Social media was abuzz with what had happened. Part of it was found nearby and brought inside the restaurant. Just one example of the wind proving to be destructive through Saskatchewan. Gone with the wind, Sabine. Yes, extra crispy, extra windy today, and I guess a lot of people are wondering how much longer are we going to deal with this?
I mean, the good news is the warnings have ended. However, the wind just loves Saskatchewan so much, doesn't want to leave anytime soon. We're still hearing those wind gusts here in Regina right now, Lee. We will see a little bit of a break from these very high wind gusts that we have been seeing over the last day or so, but it's not that much of a break because winds are still expected to be gusting within 50 to 60 kilometers an hour as we head into the weekend. Now, if we take a look in terms of, as we heard Mandy say in that story about the weather, it's not really the road conditions. It is the blowing snow with the wind that is causing these visibility issues. Temperatures will be going back into that seasonal range, and you can see that right there with the wind chill, which is starting to play a factor in these temperatures. We're going to be seeing some high risk wind chill values. Minus 32 in Regina right now, which means frostbite can settle in within 15 to 30 minutes. So something to be mindful of if you are spending time outdoors. The average minus 11 is a daytime high today. We only warmed up to minus 7, and it's only getting colder. I'll have details in your forecast. Lee?
Yeah, it's been windy. Stuff blowing off our roof all day today. So, winter sports enthusiasts are being asked to keep safety top of mind when heading out onto the ice. As Stacey Hine tells us, the recent warm January weather has made ice conditions in some area of the province a little hazardous.
From snowmobiling to skating, a recent warm-up is worsening ice conditions in some parts of the province. The Saskatchewan Snowmobile Association says many of its clubs are reporting poor ice conditions.
What they're seeing is a lot of slush on top of the ice, so a lot of the lakes aren't reporting the thickness they would like to see.
The association's executive director says the problems come after a mild November, and in some northern areas, heavy snowfall before consistent cold temperatures, meaning the ice didn't get as thick as usual, and the January thaw made it worse.
Our perfect season would be a good stretch of cold weather that really freezes the ground, freezes the water, then you get the snow.
For storm ponds in Saskatoon, the fire department says the warm-up didn't have a significant impact.
Warmer periods such as we had, there may be some slush on top, but the ice should have held up.
When heading out on the ice, RCMP cautioned against walking on white or snow ice, saying it's the weakest type. It says instead wait for strong, clear blue ice to form. The Canadian Red Cross recommends ice thickness of 15 centimeters for small walking or skiing groups and 25 centimeters for snowmobiles. The Saskatoon Fire Department says here's what to do if you fall through the ice.
Tread water, try to get your arms up onto the ice shore or onto the ice shelf, spread your weight out over a larger area.
RCMP say if you witness a person fall through the ice, call 911 immediately. Adding the safest way to help is from shore, using a long pole or throwing a rope to the person in need. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
In Prince Albert, the Wrapped Up for the Holidays clothing donation campaign has gathered all of its donations and delivered much-needed items to the Salvation Army. Jasmine Pelche was there and shows us the community's generosity.
Just blankets, that's all we wanted, and we blossomed into clothes and boots and whatever people give us, and we're so grateful for it each and every year.
For nearly 20 years, the Wrapped Up for the Holidays campaign has collected donations for those in Prince Albert who may need a little extra help during the winter season.
Larger donations, that's the handmade stuff. People, throughout the summer, throughout the fall, they do some knitting, some crocheting, they make mitts, they make toques, they make scarves.
The collection looked a little different this year. Gateway Mall General Manager Sharon Fall says there were kids' games and toys in some of the donation boxes.
We were like, well, that's great. That's great. We can find a new organization to donate those to. But of course, the community was so generous. Again, we literally put up the bin and we had it full within the first few days.
The drop-off locations were Anderson Motors, Gray's Funeral Chapel, Parkland Ambulance, and the Gateway Mall.
We are always looking for ways to get involved, give back to the community, and I had seen this last year. I thought, well, that's another great opportunity to get involved, so I gave Lyle a call and just to see what was involved.
This year, Gray's Funeral Chapel decided to hop on board with the campaign and became the 4th drop-off location.
I imagine we'll be part again next year. It's a very good initiative that they're running, a very worthy cause.
Clothing and blanket donations were given to the Salvation Army. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
After the break, more on the Canada-China trade deal along with reaction. And a federal appeals court judge rules the use of the Emergencies Act in 2022 was unreasonable. Prime Minister Mark Carney is hailing his new trade deal with China as a landmark strategic partnership, one that sets Canada up for what he called the New World Order. As a result, more Chinese-made electric vehicles will soon be on Canadian roads, with more Canadian agriculture and food products on Chinese shelves. Annie Bergeron-Oliver is in Beijing and has more on today's agreement.
The stalls at Beijing's busy food markets will soon be filled with more Canadian lobster, seafood and canola products after Canada and China signed what the Prime Minister is calling a landmark trade agreement.
We're building a web of new connections with China to create transformative opportunities for Canadian workers, build more stability, more certainty and prosperity on both sides of the Pacific.
As part of that deal, China will remove all existing tariffs on Canadian canola meal, lobsters, crab, and peas until at least the end of the year, and permanently reduce its tariff on canola seed to 15%. The tariffs on canola oil and pork will remain.
If you're a canola farmer, you're probably cautiously optimistic that something's going to come from this because we don't know the full details. But if you're a Canadian auto worker, this is devastating news because they know that this is going to undercut North American produced vehicles.
In exchange, Canada will let 49,000 Chinese electric vehicles into Canada, essentially tariff-free, increasing that amount every year after. By 2030, half of those EVs should cost a maximum of $35,000.
We need to look at this in the context of building. I mean, we're building a new part of our car industry. building cars of the future in partnership.
The new trade pact that encourages Chinese investment in Canada's auto sector was announced hours after Carney shook hands with the Chinese president, closing the deal on a 5-pillar strategic partnership meant to tear down trade barriers and forge new ties in areas from finance to energy and tourism.
A healthy and stable China-Canada relationship serves the common interests of our two countries. It is also good for the peace, stability, and prosperity of the world.
The Prime Minister says concerns about foreign interference and human rights were brought up in his private meeting with Xi Jinping. He leaves Beijing tomorrow for Qatar, where he will once again try to drum up business investment. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Beijing, China.
Now, Prime Minister Mark Carney's trade deal with China covers more than just cars and canola. It will have an impact on other industries and Canadians. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports the new agreement is being met with split reaction from premiers and tariffed sectors.
So it's just a terrible, terrible, miscalculated decision by the Prime Minister.
Ontario's premier slamming the federal government for not consulting the auto industry before agreeing to allow more Chinese EVs into Canada.
We're letting China into a market that's going to have lower tariffs than our largest market, the U.S. They're going to undermine every auto manufacturer here.
The pact Carney and President Xi made, potentially pitting parts of the country against each other. But the premier of Canada's largest canola-producing province doesn't see it that way.
The canola industry, the oilseed industry, the pulse industry is important to virtually each and every part of this country, up to and including Ontario.
Some sectors are elated about markets opening up again, while others are still waiting for relief.
While there was a deal announced for lobster and crab, there's many other species that weren't included that are subject to retaliatory tariffs. I'm thinking, cold water shrimp, sea cucumber, whelk.
We need to see the pork tariffs taken off as well.
While doing more business with economies like China may be divisive, experts today said it's key to Canada diversifying trade.
If you're going to do that on planet Earth, you're going to have to trade with China.
The new partnership also includes increasing cultural and tourism ties. Carney said Xi has agreed to allow visa-free access for Canadians traveling to China. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
As for the United States, there were some mixed messages coming out of the White House today in response to Canada's new deal with China.
Well, I think it's problematic for Canada. There's a reason why we don't sell a lot of Chinese cars in the United States. It's because we have tariffs to protect American auto workers and Americans from those vehicles. The Canadians were trying to get some tariff relief on their own to get ag into there. I think in the long run, they're not going to like having made that deal. All that being said, American cars are still going to be sold into Canada. We have a huge market share there, and I think that the Canadians' dependence on the United States for their GDP, the United States is always going to have an outsized role in that economy.
Now, later on, when President Donald Trump was asked about the deal between Ottawa and Beijing, he appeared to welcome the news.
That's okay. That's what he should be doing. I mean, it's a good thing for him to sign a trade deal. If you can get a deal with China, you should do that.
Also today, the president mused about slapping tariffs on countries that don't support his push to assert U.S. control over Greenland. Several European countries have said doing so by force would mean the end of NATO. Trump repeated his claim the U.S. needs the Arctic territory for national security, but he said the military alliance and Washington are talking. A major ruling from the Federal Court of Appeal today about the way the Liberal government responded to the trucker convoy protests in Ottawa 4 years ago. The court upheld a ruling saying the feds did not have reasonable grounds for their decision to invoke the Emergencies Act to clear the demonstrations and encampments that took over parts of the nation's capital. For about 3 weeks in early 2022, downtown Ottawa was filled with protesters, many of whom saying they were furious about COVID-era restrictions. Many were in large trucks that did block streets around Parliament Hill. Implementing the Emergencies Act allowed the government to regulate and ban public assemblies while also telling banks to freeze certain assets and bank accounts.
What it means is some people may now have grounds to bring forward more effectively lawsuits against the government. And it also will come back to the major point, which everybody has been in agreement, all the experts that have ever spoken on these matters, including at the Commission of Inquiry, and we've submitted submissions to the court, that the Emergencies Act itself is very out of date, drafted in the 1980s, and requires a total overhaul.
The Canadian Civil Liberties Association says it pursued the judicial review not because it endorsed the convoy demonstrations or how they played out, but because legal thresholds do not bend even in a crisis. Now, the federal public safety minister responded in a statement saying the government of Canada is reviewing the ruling and assessing next steps. The government remains steadfast in its commitment to assuring the safety and security of Canadians in the face of threats to public safety and national security. Well, a change of course from WestJet. It says more legroom is returning to some of its planes after an outcry from passengers.
Dad, can you just straighten out your legs there? Impossible.
That online video did get a lot of attention earlier this month, showing the cramped leg space in the new densified cabins where passengers said they felt uncomfortable and unsafe. WestJet says following a review of the data and feedback from guests, the airline will return to its standard seating arrangement for economy cabins by removing one row of seats. The RCMP says it's making a database of child sex offenders available to the public for the first time. Police say only the offenders deemed as high risk are included in a database, which is meant to help the public get informed and make decisions when it comes to protecting children. As demonstrators across Iran face down a brutal government crackdown, the country's exiled crown prince today suggested he would be the right man to lead the country if the Islamic regime is toppled.
Today, as my compatriots call on me for leadership, I reaffirm my lifelong pledge by stepping in to lead the movement that will take back our country from the anti-Iranian hostile force that occupies it and kills its children.
Reza Pahlavi's comments come as an internet blackout remains in place in Iran.
Nobody convinced me. I convinced myself. You had yesterday scheduled over 800 hangings. They didn't hang anyone. They canceled the hangings. That had a big impact.
Well, human rights groups say at least 2,500 people have been killed, though, in efforts by authorities to crush the demonstrations, which the regime claims are backed by Iran's enemies. Coming up, meet a woman from Vancouver Island who is garnering smiles with her new walking buddy.
Cost of living continues to be a concern in Saskatchewan. Monday on Your Morning, what a real estate professional says about Saskatchewan's housing market and its affordability.
Welcome back to a windy night in the Queen City, and many parts of the province. I'll show you what we're sitting at for wind gusts in just a second. Currently, though, temperature is sitting at -18. It was going to happen. We were going to come back into seasonal range, but also the wind chills. The current wind chill is -33. Winds are sitting at just under 45, gusting still up to about 60 last I checked. 57. This is what we're looking at for current wind gusts. So we're still seeing some high wind gusts up to 76 in Weyburn, 70 for Estevan, 61 for Val-Marie, 63 for Assiniboia, and 61 up in Yorkton as well. So we will start to eventually see those calm down, but maybe after tomorrow. I'll show you the full what we can expect for the next 7 days. We do still have some higher wind gusts returning into next week as well. But in terms of active weather, that's what we want to talk about today. Aside from the wind, we didn't really see any snowfall or precipitation coming through. A little bit of cloud cover, but that was pretty much it. Heading into tomorrow, a different story. We do have some cloud cover to start your evening and into the overnight. And then tomorrow we do have more cloud cover returning, but it's coming with a low pressure system that's bringing that snow from the north. So first, northern Saskatchewan will see some of that snowfall first thing in the morning. And as we head into late morning, early afternoon,
There are many parts, primarily eastern Saskatchewan, seeing it, but it will also bring some snowfall later in the day into central Saskatchewan, south central Saskatchewan, including Regina. So you can see by late afternoon tomorrow, parts of the Parkland, Yorkton, Wynyard, Hudson Bay, all expecting to see that snow, and then more of that snow returning later in the evening for parts of Regina, Swift Current, Assiniboia, Moose Jaw, and more of that snow in the Parkland as well. In terms of snowfall totals, I'll show you what we can expect, but it's not the end of the snow. We're going to see more snow returning by about Tuesday, probably another up to 3 centimeters of snow as of right now is what it's looking like. We know these systems can change, but as of right now, that's the story when it comes to snowfall. And then by Sunday, temperatures are cooling down more than what we'll see tomorrow, but no snowfall expected for Sunday and into Monday. So between now and to Sunday morning, here's a look at what we're looking at. 3 centimeters for Weyburn, Regina, up to 6 for Yorkton, Hudson Bay. A little bit more in the northern parts. La Ronge could see up to 10 centimeters, but snow will continue where we'll start to see more of that snow in the southwest as well. Up to 2 centimeters expected for Maple Creek, 3 for Swift Current, and trace amounts for Kindersley and Assiniboia. So something to keep in mind for your weekend especially, and also the fact that we're seeing those temperatures dipping back down into seasonal range, if not cooler. Minus 12 for La Ronge tomorrow, plus 2 for Lloydminster. So you will notice western parts of the province still seeing above seasonal, above zero temperatures, plus 1 for North Battleford, minus 2 for Saskatoon tomorrow, with a wind chill still around minus 13 tomorrow, minus 14 for Yorkton. The southwest, again, still quite warm. Lucky Maple Creek, plus 7 tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud, minus 1 for Moose Jaw, plus 2 for Swift Current, and the southeast, again, seasonal range for Estevan, minus 11, cloudy, minus 9 for Weyburn, cloudy, and minus 1 and a mix of sun and cloud for Assiniboia. For Regina, it's cold out there, minus 26. We're seeing those wind chill values getting close to about minus 35 tonight. That's high risk, the high risk range. So again, frostbite could settle onto exposed skin anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes. Winds still high, gusting to 55 tomorrow. Winds continue to gust up to 60. Minus 7 is the expected high with a wind chill of minus 16. Tomorrow's low is minus 14, but the wind chill is expected to be about minus 36. By Sunday, we're still seeing those temperatures getting back into seasonal range. So minus 14 by Sunday with a wind chill of minus 26 for the daytime, and into the evening, again, expecting a wind chill of about minus 36. Sorry, minus 26 was tomorrow night, minus 36 expected Sunday night. So something to keep in mind. Winds still staying quite high throughout the rest of the week. We will start to see that break by later next week. However, something to keep in mind. Temperatures are just back into seasonal range. We have some snow on the way. Basically, we had a nice ease into 2026, and then winter started to feel left out. So it's back with wind and snow and all those cold temperatures.
Yeah, a whole lot of wind. Hey, Chicago, look at me. We're the windy city now.
For now.
Thanks, Sabine.
You bet.
While no one can walk a mile in her shoes, one BC woman is turning her adversity into inspiration, one step at a time. Adam Sawatsky has her story.
Before she began walking with a big bear today, Lisa Weiner was wondering about an unexpected phone call yesterday.
It's a scam. I'm not picking it up. So I didn't. And then today I got the same phone call. And I thought, well, geez.
So Lisa answered, and the voice on the other end of the phone told her that she'd won the contest she'd entered last month.
I was so elated. Why not? You know, I don't care if I win a pair of socks. It's exciting.
So Lisa decided to walk over to collect her prize before discovering just how big it was.
First it was, okay, here we go. Do I have the nerve? And then I realized, who wouldn't love to see a stuffed bear? See, they would, Beth.
After walking a whole bunch of blocks with the bear, Lisa's found it inspires all sorts of people to smile.
It's been delightful.
Yeah. Especially since Lisa knows how it feels when you have nothing to smile about. Like when she was living in San Francisco during the 80s and lost so many male friends she had to stop counting.
I lost my reason for breathing, quite frankly.
Until she found that how she responded to tragedy was a choice.
Well, you can either stay stuck and life gets worse, or you carry on, and everybody has that decision at one time or another.
It wasn't easy, but Lisa decided to keep living life to the fullest by choosing to face adversity with fun.
You might as well enjoy your life.
Like when she struggled to figure out who she was after retiring, Lisa decided to pick up an instrument she hadn't played since she was a child and join not one, but 2 bands.
That's me in the orange jacket.
And then, while enduring debilitating cancer treatments, Lisa chose to focus on making her healthcare team laugh.
I'm convinced that laughter is a good medicine.
And now that she knows how happy a big bear can make her and other people feel, Lisa's planning to pay it forward by presenting it to one of the little people in her life.
I'll send it to her, and she'll love it.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
Still ahead, new season, new coach, but a familiar result for the University of Regina's women's basketball team.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
Well, success in junior hockey comes in cycles. 8 years ago, the Swift Current Broncos were on top of the WHL world, winning the Ed Chenoweth Cup for the third time in franchise history. 2 years ago, they had the potential to do it again, only to fall to the eventual champions, the Moose Jaw Warriors, in the playoffs. Now the Broncos are on the downside of that cycle, last in the league, losing 20 of their last 21 games.
Penalty, bench minor for too many men on the ice. Time of the penalty is 48 seconds.
Doyle in front, they score!
Tonight, they hope a trip to Saskatoon can cure their losing ways, although the Blades have won all 3 meetings this season. Saskatoon sits in 6th place in the East Conference, 2 points back of Brandon for 5th. Game time 7 o'clock. Also, Moose Jaw continues their American swing in Seattle. Well, 12 games in, the U of R Cougar women's basketball team have yet to taste defeat this season. Currently a top 10 team in U Sports rankings, the squad is being led by a duo of 5th-year veterans and a first-year head coach that has installed a new mindset for the program. Jacob Carr has more.
A Jade Belmore bucket is something the U of R Cougars have seen a lot of during the 5th-year forward's university career. And Belmore's cohesion with fellow 5th-year Kara Miskey and interim head coach Michaela Kleisinger has been a big part of the Cougars' 12-0 start this season.
I think it just makes it that much easier to be able to play every day, especially with Kara, and then having Michaela just lead us. That doesn't happen very often, where you have a university head coach that's coached you before in other more amateur kind of sports and athletic.
Kleisinger is in her first year as the team's interim head coach, but spent the past 3 years as an assistant. She says the opportunity to take over a team with Belmore, the team's all-time leading scorer, and Miskey, currently 3 assists shy of the team's all-time record, is a blessing.
I never take for granted that I was gifted them in their 5th year in my first year as a head coach. That's something not everybody gets, and I'm very grateful for, like I said, not only what they bring on the floor, of course, but the leadership and the guidance they bring off the floor as well.
Kleisinger says the transition from assistant to head coach is sort of like moving from the fun uncle to a parent, but that the women in the Cougars locker room have made the move a seamless one.
I owe them all the credit because I was honest with them from the beginning. Like, I'm new to this too, right? That's not a secret to anybody, but they have been so just patient with me and willing to learn alongside me.
Miskey believes Kleisinger has brought in a new mindset, a new culture that has led to positive results on the court.
She's big on team culture and positivity, and I think that's really important. So we come in each day with a positive mindset no matter what, and all our team values. We remind each other every day, hold each other accountable every day, and the biggest thing that I notice is that every single girl enjoys coming to practice and is smiling.
The 4th-ranked Cougars will look to remain undefeated this weekend when they take on the Winnipeg Westmen in a 2-game set. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
A 70-year-old Saskatoon runner is celebrating a new Canadian record. CTV's Laura Woodward has more on her achievement and her message to others.
Lynn Warwick-Epp has done it, running the indoor mile in 7 minutes, 12.28 seconds. Setting a Canadian record for women in the 70 age category. She didn't just set it, she destroyed the record by 8 seconds. Good job. The previous record set by an Ontario runner was untouched for nearly 2 decades. She nailed this race. She had an excellent pace and she kept it up and got the performance she wanted. Among her biggest fans, the ones who call her Baba.
She's energetic, very energetic. She gets us a lot of treats, which is nice.
While most people dread getting older, Warwick-Epp was actually counting down to her 70th birthday, eager to race in a different age group.
So when I turned 70 and I started looking at records, I thought, oh yeah, I think I can get that one. Yeah.
She started running in her early 20s as a way to quit smoking.
So I dropped cigarettes and I picked up the runners, and I haven't looked back since.
Warwick Epp says running has carried her through some of life's toughest times. She encourages everyone, no matter their age, to find what moves them.
I mean, it doesn't have to be running. It can be cycling, it can be swimming or kayaking or whatever. But I just feel that outdoor fitness is so critical for your health, for your mental health and your physical health.
Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Bad news, Blue Jays fans. Free agent Bichette has signed with the New York Mets.
Who hits it high in the air to deep center. It is gone!
Now that home run came in a heartbreaking Game 7 World Series finale with the LA Dodgers. The reported deal is worth $126 million over 3 years. Bichette is usually a shortstop, but expected to play third base for the Mets. The two-time All-Star debuted for the Jays in 2019 and has led the American League in hits twice.
Still ahead, businesses in Saskatoon's far west look to have more impact in city affairs.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at your rural forecast for tomorrow. And while some areas will still be seeing some nicer temperatures tomorrow, 0 for Outlook, +2 for Kindersley and Lloydminster. Areas along the east there, Hudson Bay, -15 is the expected daytime high as we start to gradually see temperatures in Saskatchewan getting back into the seasonal range. Southwest Saskatchewan, though, still seeing some beautiful above 0 temperatures. +7 expected for Maple Creek with a mix of sun and cloud. 3 degrees for Leader and East and Cypress, but -3 for Rockland, -7 for Lumsden and Pilot Butte, with a mix of sun and cloud for most of the day. Could see some of that snow late in the afternoon. Kenora expecting snow tomorrow, -15. Light snow for Broadview, -13, and Carlisle, light snow and -14. If we take a closer look at Carnduff, located just east of Estevan, about 90 kilometers east of Estevan. Carnduff tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud, but could see some light flurries throughout the day. -15 is the expected high with a wind chill of -24. We'll see some fluctuation throughout the day with the temperature, but the low is also expected to be -15 with a wind chill of -24.
A new business improvement district proposal is hoping to bring major changes to Saskatoon's westernmost communities. As Carla Shinkaruk tells us, getting official BID status is hoped to give businesses a higher profile when it comes to civic affairs.
We're all doing this because we want to make a difference and make community impact.
Karen Kobeson is one of those spearheading the move to have the Confederation Urban Centre added as an official business improvement district in Saskatoon.
I'm really looking forward to having just this collaborative, unified effort where information is openly available and everyone maybe doesn't feel like they're on an island anymore.
Kobeson admits safety concerns are top of mind for the area, but realizes that all neighborhoods face the same issues, which makes bid status more important as it will include them in civic conversations.
They represent a collective, right? And that unified voice. And also the sharing of information. Things that happen at city council or things that happen at different levels are communicated to bids.
She says there are few homes in the proposed bid area as it encompasses an area that includes the Confederation Mall and all businesses surrounding that block, including Superstore. Then it stretches south to Fairhaven Bowl and up to Circle Drive as far as 11th Street. The councillor for the area, Ward 2, is Sinos Timon, who is encouraged by the move, saying it's a step in the right direction.
We've been in conversation with some of the business owners. What has been lacking is the voice for those business in some of the decision-making process.
He tells us that this has been in the works for a long time, and thanks to the hard work of a group of dedicated community members, the time is now.
It requires a lot of work, requires a lot of coordination, requires a lot of logistics.
What better people to be involved with than people that are civic-minded?
The push to become a bid started in 2024 when the municipal election boundaries brought a new group of businesses together. The hope is to be an official business improvement district in 1 year at the start of 2027. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Let's take a look at your farm market boards. Canola street price is up $6.60 to $585.22 per ton. The futures price down 10 cents to $633.50 per ton. Amber durum wheat, $274.92 per ton, while red spring wheat's down 38 cents to $251.06 per ton. Feed barley, $213.59 per ton, while flax is $626.04 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge. Stock markets, the TSX up 11 points. The Dow Jones dropped by 83 points, so slightly both ways. The Canadian dollar down almost 0.1 cent to 71.86 cents U.S. Commodities, gold down $20.06. West Texas Intermediate crude up 26 cents, while Western Canadian Select crude was down $2.67. Has that affected the price of gas yet? Well, not yet. It's still sitting at $1.26.9 per liter.
Canadian housing starts are up 5.6% last year, with more rental housing being built. There was a 58% increase year over year in the number of starts in Montreal, and both Calgary and Edmonton had a record number of starts in 2025. Toronto, on the other hand, saw housing starts drop 31%. WestJet says it will remove a row of seats in its economy section after complaints about the lack of legroom in the cabin. It had already installed the extra row in more than 20 of its passenger jets. The seats also didn't recline, which was another problem for travelers. The U.S. president is now floating the idea of putting tariffs on countries that don't back his plan to control Greenland. Donald Trump says the Arctic island is needed for national security. He hasn't ruled out military force to take it over. Greenland, of course, is a Danish territory, and Denmark says it's increasing military force on the island. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Up tonight after the newscast, we have Celebrity Wheel of Fortune brought to you by Happy's Place, Stumble, Boston Blue, The Big Bang Theory is back at 10 o'clock, and then we've got E-Talk, national news, local news. And then midnight, a Florida deputy had his hands full with this runaway.
Come here. Come here, come here, come here, come here.
Yeah, he was trying to track down and catch this runaway emu. Eventually, he was able to wrangle it with a makeshift lasso and used his cuffs to keep its powerful legs and talons at bay. Everyone's okay, and the emu is back home.
Not the same emu that was in the Liberty commercials, I believe.
Right. A different one.
Yeah, a scarier one.
All right, what would you do if you ran across this while paddling about in the water?
That's me in the morning. This is a long-nosed stargazer, known for burying itself in sand, leaving only its upward-facing googly eyes exposed like it's stargazing, while waiting to ambush prey like small fish, crustaceans, and sabines.
Stop! That actually looks so terrifying.
So imagine you just saw that in the sand while you were walking on a beach.
I would probably cry. What would you do?
What? It got sick. It didn't like what it ate.
That wind is...
Yeah, you can really hear it here in the studio.
Be safe out there and stay warm this weekend, folks.